With me, because what you are looking at are the latest visuals. Apart from the first aid that he was immediately provided with on location, he's now been taken by the emergency medical personnel as well. Salman Rushdi, and who's received grievous injuries since that stabbing assassination attempt against him on stage. This, remember, apart from the fact that the book which led to the biggest controversy against him and death threats as well was written about 34 years ago, was banned in 1988 in Iran, but he had been living under death threats for the longest time. We do not know the exact reason of this. Gaurav, as we look at these visuals of him receiving first aid, thankfully that some people were able to provide to him, and now the emergency aid officials at this point as well, the chopper on location there in New York where he was about to deliver a lecture. That did not happen. But it's only worth imagining that someone offended with a writer for having written a book that has sold copies across the world. He's a renowned author. And then someone on stage on a moment like this goes up to him, starts to punch and stab him.
And stab him repeatedly is what initial reports seem to indicate. And in just a moment, we'll try and show you, that partition. So we've tried to kind of zero in and show you the place where the stabbing took place, how he collapsed, how people rushed to his assistance, and how the assailant was detained. And this is that partition, white partition that has multiple bloodstains on it. The motive for this murderous assault is is a subject of investigation. Of course, amid speculation that is it linked to the fatwa that was issued against him way back in the 1980s, 1988, 89 is where these fatwas came after satanic verses, and his book in fact was banned in several countries. Yes. There were restrictions on his book even in India because of the tension it caused for the contents, and the free speech versus suitable restrictions on free speech. That debate has been on for quite some time, but this is where he was to speak at an auditorium, and you can look the kind of people who were there and the shock on their faces the moment they witnessed the stabbing. Some of the elderly tried to rush out. The security forces, they rushed in. Some tried to give him, tried to look after him immediately to see how bad was he injured. And then the police moved in and the assailant has been detained. So now it is a matter of investigation. What was the cause and what kind of security did Salman Rushdie have? What kind of security should writers like him actually get in the wake of fatwas that actually date back decades, Pooja?
And the attempts clearly to cause fear among even the most renowned authors who can be facing such attempts. It's also important to mention here, as Gaurav has also just said, that on the stage, Salman Rushdie was being introduced at the moment when this attacker from the audience jumped onto the stage and started to punch and stab him repeatedly till the organizers managed to get Salman Rushdie to safety, give him first aid, and then the attacker was also apprehended. We're also being told, as from the visuals is visible, there was blood splatter that can be seen on the stage and also close to the chair where the author was sitting, and he was just about to give a speech as well. This was in New York. This was the CHQ 2022 event. And so strange that to talk about at that moment for writers who need asylum, who need help, who need the support of the writers community, this happens to the Booker Prize winner, 75